Welcome back, Lincoln currency. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so small, yet hiding inside it a story that stretches across more than a century of American history. A coin most people ignore, toss into drawers, or drop into donation jars without a second thought. Yet this very coin, a 2019 1-cent piece, has captured the imagination of collectors and historians worldwide. People see a penny, they see copper, they see a cent, but what they often fail to realize is that inside this single tiny disc lies a complex mixture of artistry, heritage, and occasionally, unbelievable fortune. The coin you might have once left in a shopping cart could, under the right circumstances, be worth millions of dollars. Yes, $53 million. Unbelievable, right? But the world of coins isn't ruled by disbelief, it's ruled by rarity, perfection, and mystery. The 2019 1-cent coin, better known as the Lincoln Shield cent, continues a legacy that began in 1909, when President Theodore Roosevelt decided that America's coins needed a redesign worthy of its ideals. Back then, he sought out the sculptor Victor David Brenner, a man whose detailed artistry and passion for portraiture gave birth to the first Lincoln penny. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and not a mythological image or symbol. From that moment, the penny became a symbol of trust, progress, and remembrance, an everyday monument to Abraham Lincoln, the man who preserved the Union. And in 2019, that legacy was still alive, shimmering in copper-plated zinc, with a design that reflects unity and strength, the Union Shield. 13 vertical stripes bound together by a single horizontal bar, inscribed with the word, E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. You see, in the modern age, coins are mass-produced in the billions. The 2019 Lincoln Shield penny was no exception. The United States Mint struck them in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, creating hundreds of millions of examples. Yet among those billions of shining copper discs, a few were different. A few bore minting flaws so rare, so microscopic, that their value skyrocketed into the stratosphere. A misstrike, a doubled die, an off-center strike, a missing mint mark, all these little variations became golden tickets for collectors who recognized their importance. Somewhere out there, a few 2019 cents emerged from the presses with perfect luster, untouched by human hands, graded as MS-70 red by the professional coin grading service. Those are the gems worth a fortune. One of them even made headlines after selling for a jaw-dropping $53 million, a number that turned heads across the numismatic world. Now imagine the absurdity of it. A single cent, a coin designed to buy virtually nothing in today's market, being worth more than a mansion, a yacht, or a fleet of luxury cars. That paradox is part of what makes numismatics so captivating. It's not about the face value, it's about the story, the craftsmanship, and the preservation of history. The 2019 penny isn't just a coin, it's a chapter of American art, politics, and economics, pressed into metal form. Its weight, precisely 2.5 grams, might seem insignificant, yet every atom of that weight carries a lineage that connects past to present. Before 1982, pennies were mostly copper, 95% to be exact. But the rising price of copper forced a change. Since then, they've been 97.5% zinc, with only a thin plating of copper, giving them their familiar shine. The switch wasn't just a cost-saving measure, it marked a shift in how America viewed its smallest denomination, less a store of metal value, more a symbol of continuity. The obverse of the coin, the side bearing Lincoln's profile, remains true to Brenner's vision, though subtly refined through the decades. Lincoln's stern yet compassionate gaze seems to pierce through time itself, a reminder of leadership under fire. The word liberty sits beside him, an eternal companion, while the year 2019 anchors the coin to its place in history. Depending on the mint, you'll find a small letter beneath the year, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. Each letter tells a story of where it was born, like a hometown signature carved into history. On the reverse, that striking Union Shield symbolizes federal unity, a visual echo of the Civil War's lessons. The 13 stripes represent the original colonies, while the horizontal bar symbolizes the federal government uniting them all. It's a design both elegant and powerful, one that whispers of resilience and hope every time light glints across its surface. Collectors know that not every coin is equal. The world of grading is meticulous and unforgiving. Even a tiny scratch, a fingerprint, or a spot of discoloration can separate a 1-cent coin from a $10,000 gem. That's why when a flawless example surfaces, it's treated like a holy relic. The 2019 penny that fetched $53 million wasn't just flawless, it was miraculous. Experts believe it was struck on a special die, polished to near perfection, and somehow escaped the usual wear of mint handling. The coin's surface shimmered with unmatched brilliance, and under magnification, the details were so sharp that even the tiniest curls in Lincoln's hair were crisply defined. It was a coin beyond ordinary craftsmanship, a modern treasure. There's something almost poetic about the journey of a coin. When it leaves the United States Mint, gleaming and untouched, it's like a newborn star, perfect, pure, filled with potential. The 2019 Lincoln Shield cent was no exception. Each freshly minted coin rolled off the press like a spark of light, destined for countless hands and pockets. Some of them would vanish into circulation, lost to time. Others would be hoarded, studied, or cherished. But among them, a few would rise to legendary status, coins so flawless, so unique, that they would rewrite what collectors thought possible. The story of one such penny, the one that stunned the world with a $53 million price tag, begins here, in the mechanical heartbeat of the U.S. Mint. Inside those vast facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, precision rules every motion. Robotic arms, conveyor belts, and monstrous coin presses work in perfect harmony. Sheets of zinc shimmer under fluorescent lights, awaiting their transformation. Each blank circle of metal, called a planchet, is punched out of those sheets, then heated, washed, and plated with copper. The copper coating, though only microns thick, gives each penny its familiar reddish hue, a color that has come to symbolize endurance and reliability in American life. The process is mesmerizing, almost rhythmic, as thousands of these tiny discs rattle through channels and tubes toward their destiny. The dies that strike the coins are masterpieces of engineering. Carved with laser precision, they carry every detail of Lincoln's portrait and the shield design. When the dies descend with more than 60 tons of force, they leave behind an impression so sharp that it captures every contour of Lincoln's hair, every crease of his coat, every subtle curve in the shield. But sometimes, rarely, something unexpected happens. Maybe a die shifts slightly. Maybe a mint worker replaces a tool at the wrong moment. Or maybe a minute speck of debris interferes with the strike. Whatever the reason, a 1 in a billion error is born. A double die, a misalignment, a die crack, small imperfections that transform a regular penny into a legend. When collectors discovered that a 2019 penny had sold for $53 million, disbelief swept through the numismatic world. Experts scoured databases, auction records, and grading archives trying to piece together the mystery. What made it so special? The coin was said to have been struck on a planchet of extraordinary quality, its surface flawless, its luster unmatched. Under magnification, the fields glowed like liquid copper, reflecting light with a mirror-like intensity. Lincoln's portrait appeared alive, as though carved in miniature sculpture. The shield on the reverse gleamed with microscopic sharpness, every stripe perfectly aligned. There were whispers that it had been part of a small batch of experimental strikes, perhaps produced using a newly polished die or treated surface. The result was perfection beyond comprehension. But perfection alone doesn't create a $53 million coin. It also needs a story, a spark that ignites imagination. That's what happened here. The coin was discovered by chance, in a roll of change that had been sitting untouched in a collector's desk. For months, it had gone unnoticed, until one day, curiosity led to its inspection under a loupe. What the collector saw changed his life. Within weeks, grading experts confirmed the impossible: a flawless strike, an unprecedented level of detail, and a die finish that didn't match any known batch. News spread like wildfire. It wasn't just a coin anymore, it was a modern myth. you have to understand the psychology of value in coin collecting. Rarity isn't just about numbers, it's about survival, condition, and the human fascination with the unattainable. Billions of 2019 pennies exist, but only one or two might achieve that perfect balance of condition and story. It's like a lottery ticket in metal form, except this lottery isn't random. It rewards those who pay attention. Every collector dreams of that moment, the sudden realization that an ordinary coin in their hand is something extraordinary. The heart races, the breath quickens, the eyes widen in disbelief. That emotion is what drives the world of rare coins, and the 2019 penny became the pinnacle of that dream. Now let's look closer at the coin itself, the tiny masterpiece most people overlook. On the obverse, Lincoln's face tells a story of resilience. His expression, calm yet intense, captures the burden of leadership. The engraving shows the subtle texture of his beard, the crease between his brow, the faint folds of his suit collar. Above his head, the phrase, "In God we trust," gleams with the light of conviction. To his left, liberty stands proud, a word that has anchored the American identity since its founding. And beside his shoulder, the year 2019 marks the moment in time when this version of the penny entered history. The mint mark, tiny but powerful, connects it to its birthplace P, D, or S. Each letter matters to collectors, because it ties the coin to a specific mint and production story. Flip it over, and the Union Shield commands attention. Designed by artist Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph Mena, this shield symbolizes strength through unity. The 13 vertical stripes represent the original colonies, bound together under one horizontal bar inscribed with E pluribus unum, out of many one. That Latin phrase has appeared on U.S. coins for generations, and here, it's presented as both message and metaphor. At the top, the single word 1 cent reminds us that even the smallest denomination holds immense significance. Below it, the subtle curvature of the shield suggests movement, as if standing guard against time itself. The craftsmanship of this reverse design turns the coin into a miniature work of patriotic art. Every time a coin leaves the mint, it begins a secret journey. Some roll through banks and stores, others pass between strangers in moments so small they vanish from memory. But what no one realizes in that instant is that history itself is moving from one hand to another. That's the beauty of the 2019 Lincoln penny. It's a living timeline, a tiny messenger of the past whispering through the noise of modern life. Its coppery glow, its iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, its shield of unity, all of it carries messages from generations long gone. And in this part of the story, we dig deeper, past the metal and the mint marks, into the soul of what makes this 1 cent piece so endlessly fascinating, and how one of them came to be worth an unbelievable $53 million. You might wonder, why does a coin so common, so ordinary, ignite such obsession? The answer lies in a strange combination of history, craftsmanship, and fate. Every coin has its twin born from the same die, struck within milliseconds of another. Yet no two are ever truly identical. Microscopic differences, a slightly uneven pressure, a speck of dust, a faint die crack, make each penny unique. For most, those variations go unnoticed. But for the trained eye of a collector, they're the fingerprints of destiny. The 2019 Shield Sense allure isn't just in its design, it's in the stories hidden within its billions of copies, each waiting to be discovered, each with a potential secret worth millions. Let's pause for a moment and look at what the coin represents, not just as metal, but as a reflection of American ideals. Abraham Lincoln, the face that has graced the penny for more than a century, isn't there by accident. He represents unity through struggle, compassion in leadership, and the eternal belief in progress despite hardship. The choice to honor him on the smallest denomination is itself symbolic. Greatness, the coin seems to say, is not about size or wealth, but about integrity. When you flip a penny, you're not just seeing currency, you're seeing the embodiment of the American promise that even the humblest can rise to immortality. The 2019 penny continues that message with the shield on its reverse, an emblem of protection, strength, and unity. Together, the face and the shield tell a story that spans centuries, yet fits in the palm of your hand, When you think about the craftsmanship behind this small coin, it borders on miraculous. The engraving, first designed digitally and then refined by human touch, has to withstand the violent pressure of high-speed minting. Each die used to strike the coin can produce hundreds of thousands of impressions before it wears down, and when it does, it begins to subtly distort the design. Those distortions create varieties, rare, fleeting anomalies that collectors hunt for like treasure. Some 2019 cents show ghost-like doubling on Lincoln's eye or the word Liberty. Others reveal faint cracks spreading like veins across the shield. To the average person, these might look like imperfections. To a numismatist, they're signatures of history, small miracles of imperfection that transform a coin from ordinary to priceless. The specific penny that achieved the legendary $53 million valuation combines several of these qualities: perfection, rarity, and myth. It wasn't merely a coin, it was a phenomenon. Some experts speculated that it might have been struck from a die treated with an experimental finish. Perhaps a mirror-polished proof die used accidentally on a circulation planchet. Others suggested it was a test strike that escaped the mint, a coin never meant for public release. Whatever the case, the result was mesmerizing. A 2019 penny that gleamed with unreal brilliance, its fields mirror-smooth, its devices frosted in crisp contrast. Under magnification, even the tiniest serif of a letter stood in flawless relief. It wasn't just a coin, it was an artwork born from chance and perfection colliding at the exact right moment. And what made that moment even more astonishing was how the coin was found. It wasn't unearthed by a seasoned dealer or discovered in a high-security vault. It was found by an everyday collector, the kind who searches through rolls of pennies bought from banks just for the thrill of discovery. The story goes that this collector, driven by curiosity and a bit of luck, opened a roll of 2019 cents one evening and noticed something different about one coin's glow. It reflected light differently, almost like it was made of liquid fire. At first, he thought it was a trick of the lamp, but then he looked closer, with a magnifier. The surfaces were perfect. The details were sharp beyond belief. He sent it for grading, and when the results came back, a perfect MS-70 read, the world of numismatics erupted in awe. The rest is legend, but let's look at what that discovery truly represents. Beyond the fortune, beyond the headlines, it's about the enduring power of attention, the idea that noticing what others overlook can change your life. How many people handled billions of 2019 pennies without a second thought? How many brushed past treasure because it didn't look like gold? The story of that $53 million penny is a metaphor for life itself. That value hides in the ordinary, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. Now, beyond the myth, the 2019 penny's real-world significance goes much deeper. It marks the 10th year of the shield design, introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been used since 1959. The shield's debut was part of the Mint's effort to reassert a theme of national unity in a time when the country faced deep divisions. The design draws from Civil War symbolism, a literal shield to protect the Union, echoing Lincoln's enduring influence as the unifier of a fractured nation. Even its composition tells a story about adaptation and resilience. The transition from copper to zinc wasn't just economic, it reflected a changing world where practicality had to coexist with tradition. The 2019 cent stands as a quiet monument to that balance. What makes this even more fascinating is how such a tiny object connects to global economics. Pennies, despite their low value, require immense resources to produce. It actually costs more than 1 cent to make a penny, around 1.8 cents per coin when factoring in materials, labor, and distribution. That means every penny represents a paradox. It's literally worth less than it costs to create, yet culturally priceless. That contradiction is part of why people argue over its future. Some say the penny should be abolished, replaced by digital rounding or higher denominations. Others insist that to lose it would be to lose a piece of national identity. And in that debate, the 2019 cent becomes both symbol and witness, the last breath of an era when physical money still ruled the rhythm of everyday life. When you hold a 2019 penny, think about its journey. It may have started in Philadelphia, one of the oldest mints in the world, where machines struck millions of these coins daily. Or perhaps it came from Denver, the heart of America's Western minting tradition. Maybe it even bears the S mark of San Francisco, home to proof coins so immaculate they look sculpted from molten glass. Each mint adds its own chapter to the penny saga. Each die, each strike, each handling by human hands weaves another thread into its history. It's easy to overlook a coin as simple as the 1-cent piece, but within it lies a web of artistry, politics, science, and emotion. The market for rare coins is a curious world, one where logic and emotion entwine like dancers in a waltz. To an outsider, a 2019 penny might seem trivial, just another 1-cent piece among billions. But for collectors and investors, each penny is a tiny universe of possibility. Its value is determined not by denomination, but by condition, rarity, provenance, and story. This is why the 2019 penny, which otherwise seems ordinary, could reach the staggering $53 million mark. It's not just about metal, it's about myth, history, perfection, and timing, all colliding in one small disc. Coin grading is at the heart of this valuation. Experts spend years honing their ability to differentiate a coin that is merely very fine from one that is gem mint. In the case of the 2019 Lincoln Shield cent, grading is especially important because billions were minted. Even tiny differences in surface quality, strike, or color can dramatically affect price. Grading uses a precise scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing flawless perfection. The most coveted 2019 pennies, like the $53 million specimen, were graded MS-70 red. Mint state 70, with full original red color from the copper plating. To achieve this, the coin must have no scratches, no discoloration, no blemishes, essentially a perfect reflection of the minting process itself. The process seems painstaking, almost obsessive, but for collectors chasing perfection, it's the only standard. The grading process also underscores the rarity of such coins. Out of hundreds of millions of 2019 pennies, only a minuscule fraction ever reaches MS-70 red. That rarity alone elevates value, but when combined with a unique provenance, such as being part of a special experimental batch, test strike, or mint error, the worth can skyrocket beyond imagination. Experts often describe these coins as 1 in a billion finds, and the market agrees. A coin can be technically identical in size and weight to its peers, yet if it carries a story, a perfection that defies mass production, its value becomes virtually limitless. Speaking of weight, the 2019 penny is 2.5 grams, modest by any measure, yet each gram is a physical embodiment of meticulous engineering. The zinc core makes it light but durable, while the copper plating provides aesthetic appeal and a nod to the historical all-copper pennies of previous decades. Collectors often marvel at how such a tiny object can carry both historical resonance and intricate artistry. A single light reflection off a perfect surface can reveal microscopic detail. Every hair curl on Lincoln's head, every line on the shield, every serif of the inscriptions, magnifying its significance in ways a casual observer would never imagine. Market trends show a fascinating pattern for 2019 pennies. Circulation coins, of course, remain worth their face value, 1 cent. But once graded, proof coins or special varieties begin their climb. For instance, proof sets with the S mint mark, issued from San Francisco, are far more sought after than the everyday circulation pennies. These coins are struck with extra care on polished dies, creating a mirror-like finish that emphasizes detail. Their rarity makes them especially attractive to collectors, driving auction prices into the thousands, or even tens of thousands for top grades. And then, of course, there are anomalies, the mint errors, misstrikes, and test coins, which can escalate into legendary status, as we've seen with the $53 million coin. Collector psychology plays an enormous role in this valuation. Rare coins don't just sell because of their metal. They sell because people want to own a piece of history, to hold in their hands something that few others have. It's an emotional investment as much as a financial one. Each coin is a story, a tangible connection to the past, and a symbol of achievement within the collector community. When one coin reaches perfection and rarity simultaneously, the collective fascination can transform that object into an icon. This is why the 2019 penny story has captured worldwide attention. It is not just a coin, it's a phenomenon. Auctions have also fueled this frenzy. When rare coins come up for sale, bidding wars are not uncommon. Enthusiasts from around the globe monitor the market, ready to act the moment a new treasure appears. Online auction platforms and live events give collectors the adrenaline rush of discovery and competition. In the case of the 2019 penny, when the $53 million figure was announced, it wasn't merely a transaction, it was a cultural event. The sale created headlines, viral stories, and even inspired a surge of coin roll hunting, as casual collectors and hobbyists imagined their own pockets might hold hidden gems. It became a reminder that in the numismatic world, ordinary objects can sometimes transcend their humble origins. Even beyond the financial aspect, there's artistry to consider. Every element of the penny's design has meaning. Lincoln's portrait conveys gravitas and empathy. The shield communicates unity and protection. The mottos, the inscriptions, the intricate lines, these are not merely decorative. They are deliberate choices, reflecting American ideals and collective identity. When you hold a perfect 2019 penny, you are literally touching a piece of visual philosophy, a tangible meditation on history, leadership, and unity. Art historians and coin specialists alike recognize that such design excellence is rare, especially in mass-produced objects. This is what elevates the coin from everyday currency to collectible treasure. The journey of the $53 million penny also highlights the importance of provenance. Coins with verified history, when, where, and how they were minted, their previous owners, and any documented unusual events, gain additional credibility and value. Provenance assures collectors that they are not merely buying metal, but a legitimate piece of numismatic history. In the case of this particular penny, the mystery surrounding its origins, possibly an experimental or test strike, added an almost mythical quality, further inflating its worth. The coin became more than currency. It became legend, with its story inseparable from its physical presence. And let's consider the broader context. The 2019 penny exists in a world that is increasingly digital. Physical currency is gradually being replaced by digital transactions, mobile payments, and virtual wallets. In that sense, the 2019 penny is a bridge between the past and the present, a reminder that tangible, physical artifacts still carry immense significance, even in an era dominated by intangible numbers on screens. That contrast heightens its allure. People are fascinated not just by its rarity, but by the fact that it is a physical object, resistant to deletion, corruption, or obsolescence. It is permanence in a transient world. Collectors also value the 2019 penny for what it represents in continuity. Despite changes in composition, size, and design over the decades, the penny has endured as a cultural symbol. The switch to zinc cores after 1982 was a pragmatic choice, yet it did not diminish the coin's significance. The Lincoln portrait remains constant, as does the shield's symbolism of unity. Even the smallest details, like the edge and rim, are designed for consistency, linking each coin to its predecessors. Owning a perfect example of the 2019 penny is therefore like owning a miniature time machine, connecting the collector to centuries of American history with a single glance. The $53 million sale also reflects the unpredictability of the rare coin market. Prices are not linear, they are influenced by human emotion, hype, and historical significance. While most 2019 pennies are inconsequential in value, a single anomaly can shift perceptions entirely. That anomaly can be a mint error, a perfect strike, a rare finish, or simply an aura of mystery. Collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for what they perceive as once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. In the case of the 2019 penny, perfection, rarity, and story aligned in a way rarely seen in numismatics, producing a sale price that captured imaginations worldwide. By the time the world became aware of the $53 million 2019 penny, collector mania had reached a fever pitch. Coin enthusiasts, both amateur and professional, suddenly felt a renewed urgency to examine every roll of pennies, every coin jar, every overlooked cache in basements and drawers. The phenomenon wasn't merely about money, it was about discovery. Humans have always been drawn to rare objects, whether gemstones, art, or artifacts. Coins, though small and often overlooked, are a particularly potent example of this fascination, because they combine history, artistry, and scarcity into a single tangible object. The 2019 penny, with its combination of immaculate craftsmanship, historical resonance, and rarity, became a magnet for that primal urge to hunt treasure. Grading, in particular, became a focal point of collector mania. For many, it is not enough simply to possess a coin, it must be authenticated, examined, and certified by professional grading services. The major grading institutions, like the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC), apply exacting standards. Coins are inspected under magnification for scratches, toning, die imperfections, and luster. Each feature contributes to a numerical score between 1 and 70, with 70 representing a flawless coin in mint state. But there's more than just the number. The color designation, such as red, red-brown, or brown, also heavily influences market value. A 2019 penny graded MS-70 red represents perfection in every detail and color, a specimen as close to the mint as possible, a coin that, for collectors, borders on mythical. The allure of perfection fuels auctions and private sales alike. Auctions for high-grade pennies often resemble intense sporting events, with bids rising dramatically in minutes. In some cases, the presence of a single expert or a passionate bidder can push prices far beyond expectations. This emotional energy is a defining aspect of the rare coin market. The $53 million 2019 penny was no exception. It captivated not only seasoned collectors but also casual enthusiasts who were suddenly dreaming about the possibility that they, too, could find something extraordinary. Social media platforms buzzed with speculation, images, and analysis. Coin forums lit up with discussions about die varieties, planchet quality, and possible test strike origins. The mania was global, crossing borders, languages, and cultures. Errors and anomalies play an outsized role in this mania. While most pennies are flawless, the minting process is incredibly complex, and even microscopic irregularities can create dramatic differences in value. Common examples include doubled dies, where a slight misalignment in the die creates overlapping features, off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, and planchet errors, where a blank disc is miscut or improperly alloyed. For the 2019 penny, collectors scrutinize every detail for such anomalies, as even the smallest irregularity can transform an ordinary coin into a prize. The most famous instance, the $53 million specimen, was not a conventional error but a perfect strike, seemingly untouched by the thousands of hands, presses, and processes that usually mar circulation coins. Its perfection was itself a kind of anomaly, one that elevated it to legendary status. Auctions of rare 2019 pennies highlight just how high demand has grown. Some coins, when graded in the MS-69 or MS-70 range, routinely fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Proof coins, particularly the West Point W mint mark proofs, command even higher sums due to their intentional rarity and pristine condition. Auction houses carefully catalog these coins, often providing detailed photography, magnification analysis, and provenance documentation. The presence of historical context, such as confirmation that the coin originated from a test strike or special batch, can multiply the value exponentially. The $53 million penny became the ultimate example, not just a coin, but a story, a legend, a symbol that collectors worldwide would reference for decades. Its sale reaffirmed that value in the numismatic world is as much about narrative and context as it is about metal or minting. Collector psychology also explains the intensity of this fascination. Humans are inherently drawn to rare objects, and coins present a perfect combination of scarcity, history, and portability. Each 2019 penny is a small, tangible piece of American culture, linking the collector to Lincoln, to the Civil War-era symbolism of the shield, and to the continuity of the nation. For many, The search for rare pennies is a pursuit of both knowledge and experience, a way to engage with history directly, to handle an artifact, to feel a connection across time. The discovery of a rare or perfect coin offers an emotional payoff that exceeds its monetary value, creating a sense of achievement, ownership, and belonging within the collector community. Beyond emotion, the 2019 penny also has a profound cultural significance. It represents not just Lincoln, but the continuity of American ideals, liberty, unity, and perseverance. The shield design reinforces these principles, symbolizing the original 13 colonies united under federal authority. Each coin acts as a miniature ambassador of American identity, reinforcing ideals every time it changes hands. This symbolic resonance adds layers of meaning to its financial and aesthetic value. It's why collectors and historians alike prize it, not only for rarity but for what it represents, the tangible embodiment of enduring principles pressed into metal. Market trends for 2019 pennies reflect these dynamics. While common circulation coins retain only their nominal value, high-grade specimens and proof coins exhibit remarkable price growth. The introduction of the shield design in 2010 added additional context, creating a series that collectors now monitor closely for errors, exceptional strikes, and minting varieties. In many ways, the 2019 coin sits at the apex of this series, historically relevant, technologically precise, and perfectly preserved. It's the kind of coin that collectors will study for decades, analyzing every detail under magnification, comparing it to its contemporaries, and debating its place in the numismatic canon. Even small details can have significant consequences. Minor variations in color, luster, or strike depth can make a coin jump in value dramatically. Coins graded MS69 might be worth thousands. MS70 red examples can command seven-figure sums. The $53 million coin, uniquely, represents the intersection of perfection, rarity, and myth, a convergence rarely seen in numismatics. Its story demonstrates that the value of a coin is not intrinsic but relational. It exists in the intersection of quality, narrative, and human perception. Without collectors willing to recognize its significance, the coin would remain an ordinary 1-cent piece. Its fortune depends entirely on the attention, interpretation, and appreciation of those who understand it. And yet, the fascination with the 2019 penny goes beyond economics or even aesthetics. It speaks to a human desire for connection and discovery. The coin's small size belies its impact. In the hands of collectors, it becomes a lens through which to view history, technology, art, and culture simultaneously. Each strike of the die, each polished finish, each detail in the shield or Lincoln's portrait embodies centuries of technological innovation, artistic refinement, and historical consciousness. By holding a 2019 penny in perfect condition, a collector engages with all of these layers at once, experiencing a tactile connection to processes, ideals, and moments that transcend ordinary life. That's why the story of the $53 million penny resonates beyond collectors. It is a symbol of potential hidden in plain sight, of the extraordinary within the ordinary. Every penny minted in 2019 carries a whisper of possibility, the chance that it might be exceptional, the chance that it might tell a story worth millions. And it is this possibility, combined with human passion, that gives the coin its power. Collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike see in it a reflection of broader truths. Attention matters, preservation matters, and beauty and rarity are rewards in themselves. To truly appreciate the 2019 Lincoln Shield cent, one must step inside the extraordinary world of minting, a world where precision, technology, and artistry converge in ways most people never imagine. The United States Mint operates like a cathedral of industry, where machines move with relentless rhythm, dies descend with surgical precision, and each planchet, small, thin, and unassuming, carries the potential for greatness. It begins with raw materials, sheets of zinc, pure yet malleable, coated with a thin layer of copper to provide that signature reddish hue. The copper plating is measured in microns, thinner than a human hair, yet applied with exacting uniformity. Every planchet is inspected, polished, and prepared for the immense forces it will endure, ensuring that when it meets the dies, it emerges as a flawless representation of design intent. The dies themselves are marvels of technology and craftsmanship. Engraved using a combination of laser etching, computer modeling, and traditional sculpting techniques, the obverse and reverse dies carry the full weight of artistic and historical responsibility. Lincoln's portrait on the obverse is more than an engraving, it's a miniature sculpture capturing the subtleties of expression, texture, and emotion. Every curl of his hair, the crease in his brow, the subtle folds of his coat, and the glint of his eyes are carefully preserved. On the reverse, the shield embodies unity, strength, and balance. Its 13 vertical stripes represent the original colonies, while the horizontal bar above them, inscribed with E pluribus unum, unites them symbolically, a design both patriotic and mathematically precise. Each line, each surface texture, and each curve has been optimized to reflect light, highlight contrast, and endure the striking process. The striking itself is a physical marvel. Each die, descending with over 60 tons of force, imprints the planchet in an instant. Under such pressure, the zinc core and copper plating deform just enough to capture every detail without compromising durability. The speed of production is staggering. Thousands of pennies can be struck per minute, yet the margin for error is microscopic. A tiny flaw, a speck of debris, a misaligned die, a microscopic scratch, can render a coin less valuable or, conversely, create a rare minting anomaly. For the 2019 penny, perfection was rare. The $53 million coin exemplifies what happens when machinery, artistry, and a pinch of luck align perfectly, producing a specimen that is simultaneously flawless and historically resonant. Science and metallurgy play a critical role in the coin's story. Zinc, chosen for its malleability and cost efficiency, forms the core. It is light, stable, and resistant to corrosion, providing the foundation for the coin's long life. The copper coating, though incredibly thin, serves both aesthetic and protective functions. The interaction between zinc and copper is carefully controlled during plating to prevent discoloration or delamination over decades of handling. Even microscopic variations in thickness, grain, or chemical composition can affect how light interacts with the coin's surface, influencing how collectors perceive luster, color, and ultimately value. The $53 million coin, graded MS-70 red, represents the pinnacle of this metallurgical mastery, every particle aligned, every surface pristine, every reflection sharp and vibrant. Unique variations in 2019 pennies fascinate collectors because they highlight the subtleties of minting. Some coins exhibit minor die shifts, creating doubled letters or slight misalignments. Others show faint die cracks or polishing lines, almost invisible to the naked eye, but magnified under a loupe, they transform the coin into an anomaly worthy of attention. In rare instances, planchet errors occur, such as improperly cut blanks, partial copper plating, or foreign inclusions. These imperfections are often the stuff of legend, as collectors prize the intersection of rarity and imperfection. Yet in the case of the $53 million penny, it was the absence of any imperfection that created its mystique. Perfect strike, perfect planchet, perfect color. Its flawlessness in a production environment designed to tolerate minor errors is itself a form of rarity. The historical context adds even more depth. Lincoln pennies have been minted since 1909, with the obverse design largely unchanged, preserving Lincoln's iconic visage for more than a century. The reverse, however, has evolved, wheat ears from 1909 to 1958, the Lincoln Memorial from 1959 to 2008, and the shield from 2010 onwards. Each redesign reflects shifts in American culture, values, and identity. The 2019 shield cent represents a contemporary iteration, marrying modern precision technology with timeless symbolism. By holding one in perfect condition, collectors are literally connecting with a continuum of history that spans generations, from the earliest pennies honoring Lincoln to the precise minting of the 21st century. Weight and dimensions, seemingly trivial details, also have significance. At 2.5 grams and 19.05 millimeters in diameter, the penny is engineered to balance economy, durability, and tactile experience. Its edge, though smooth, is slightly raised to protect the design. These small measurements are crucial when grading coins, as deviations can indicate planchet flaws, striking errors, or authenticity issues. Every micrometer matters. In the case of the legendary 2019 penny, measurements were precise, weight was consistent, and edges were perfect, criteria that contributed to its unprecedented market value. The $53 million penny also demonstrates the importance of environmental preservation. Most coins experience wear from circulation, exposure to moisture, chemicals, or handling. Even a tiny scratch or fingerprint can diminish value dramatically. The preservation of this specimen, likely stored and handled with meticulous care, allowed it to retain full original mint luster and sharpness. This reinforces the principle that rarity is not just about numerical scarcity, but about survival and pristine condition. In a world where billions of pennies are minted annually, the few that remain untouched decades later are invaluable. Comparisons with earlier pennies further illuminate its significance. The wheatback pennies of the early 20th century, often found in circulated condition, are cherished primarily for historical context and low surviving numbers. Memorial pennies, minted from 1959 to 2008, are more abundant, yet high-grade specimens continue to appreciate in value. The shield design, particularly the 2019 issue, benefits from modern grading scrutiny and technological precision, producing coins that are both accessible and collectible, but occasionally reaching a level of perfection previously unattainable. The $53 million example represents the apex of these factors: historical lineage, modern minting excellence, and near-mythical preservation. Scientific tools have become essential in evaluating coins like the 2019 cent. Magnification, lighting, and even digital microscopy reveal minute features invisible to the naked eye. Experts can study the depth of the strike, the consistency of copper plating, the sharpness of die lines, and the reflectivity of the surfaces. Chemical analysis can detect minute variations in metal composition, confirming authenticity or detecting experimental batches. For a coin that reaches the level of the $53 million specimen, such scrutiny is not just precautionary, it is integral to understanding, appreciating, and valuing the object in ways that transcend casual observation. Even subtle aesthetic qualities, like color and luster, are critical. A red designation indicates the coin retains the full warmth of its copper plating, a feature that tends to fade over time to red-brown, or brown, through oxidation and handling. Luster, the way light reflects from the surfaces, is often described as satin or mirror-like and can influence emotional perception of quality. For collectors, the interplay of color and luster can evoke an almost visceral appreciation of perfection, which in the case of the 2019 penny, contributed directly to its astronomical valuation. Finally, the coin's symbolic resonance cannot be overstated. Beyond metallurgy, precision, and rarity, the 2019 penny embodies continuity, unity, and heritage. Lincoln's portrait evokes leadership and moral integrity, while the shield represents collective strength and national identity. When collectors, historians, and enthusiasts examine it, they are not merely analyzing metal, they are engaging with a story, a narrative that spans centuries. The coin's physical perfection amplifies its symbolic meaning, creating a layered experience of history, technology, artistry, and human curiosity. It is this complex interplay that elevates a simple 1-cent piece into a legendary artifact. To truly appreciate the 2019 Lincoln Shield cent, one must step inside the extraordinary world of minting, a world where precision, technology, and artistry converge in ways most people never imagine. The United States Mint operates like a cathedral of industry, where machines move with relentless rhythm, dies descend with surgical precision, and each planchet, small, thin, and unassuming, carries the potential for greatness. It begins with raw materials, sheets of zinc, pure yet malleable, coated with a thin layer of copper to provide that signature reddish hue. The copper plating is measured in microns, thinner than a human hair, yet applied with exacting uniformity. Every planchet is inspected, polished, and prepared for the immense forces it will endure, ensuring that when it meets the dies, it emerges as a flawless representation of design intent. The dies themselves are marvels of technology and craftsmanship. Engraved using a combination of laser etching, computer modeling, and traditional sculpting techniques, the obverse and reverse dies carry the full weight of artistic and historical responsibility. Lincoln's portrait on the obverse is more than an engraving, it's a miniature sculpture capturing the subtleties of expression, texture, and emotion. Every curl of his hair, the crease in his brow, the subtle folds of his coat, and the glint of his eyes are carefully preserved. On the reverse, the shield embodies unity, strength, and balance. Its 13 vertical stripes represent the original colonies, while the horizontal bar above them, inscribed with E pluribus unum, unites them symbolically, a design both patriotic and mathematically precise. Each line, each surface texture, and each curve has been optimized to reflect light, highlight contrast, and endure the striking process. The striking itself is a physical marvel. Each die, descending with over 60 tons of force, imprints the planchet in an instant. Under such pressure, the zinc core and copper plating deform just enough to capture every detail without compromising durability. The speed of production is staggering. Thousands of pennies can be struck per minute, yet the margin for error is microscopic. A tiny flaw, a speck of debris, a misaligned die, a microscopic scratch, can render a coin less valuable or, conversely, create a rare minting anomaly. For the 2019 penny, perfection was rare. The $53 million coin exemplifies what happens when machinery, artistry, and a pinch of luck align perfectly, producing a specimen that is simultaneously flawless and historically resonant. Science and metallurgy play a critical role in the coin's story. Zinc, chosen for its malleability and cost efficiency, forms the core. It is light, stable, and resistant to corrosion, providing the foundation for the coin's long life. The copper coating, though incredibly thin, serves both aesthetic and protective functions. The interaction between zinc and copper is carefully controlled during plating to prevent discoloration or delamination over decades of handling. Even microscopic variations in thickness, grain, or chemical composition can affect how light interacts with the coin's surface, influencing how collectors perceive luster, color, and ultimately value. The $53 million coin, graded MS-70 red, represents the pinnacle of this metallurgical mastery, every particle aligned, every surface pristine, every reflection sharp and vibrant. Unique variations in 2019 pennies fascinate collectors because they highlight the subtleties of minting. Some coins exhibit minor die shifts, creating doubled letters or slight misalignments. Others show faint die cracks or polishing lines, almost invisible to the naked eye, but magnified under a loupe, they transform the coin into an anomaly worthy of attention. In rare instances, planchet errors occur, such as improperly cut blanks, partial copper plating, or foreign inclusions. These imperfections are often the stuff of legend, as collectors prize the intersection of rarity and imperfection. Yet in the case of the $53 million penny, it was the absence of any imperfection that created its mystique. Perfect strike, perfect planchet, perfect color. Its flawlessness in a production environment designed to tolerate minor errors is itself a form of rarity. The historical context adds even more depth. Lincoln pennies have been minted since 1909, with the obverse design largely unchanged, preserving Lincoln's iconic visage for more than a century. The reverse, however, has evolved. Wheat ears from 1909 to 1958, the Lincoln Memorial from 1959 to 2008, and the shield from 2010 onwards. Each redesign reflects shifts in American culture, values, and identity. The 2019 shield cent represents a contemporary iteration, marrying modern precision technology with timeless symbolism. By holding one in perfect condition, collectors are literally connecting with a continuum of history that spans generations, from the earliest pennies honoring Lincoln to the precise minting of the 21st century. Weight and dimensions, seemingly trivial details, also have significance. At 2.5 grams and 19.05 millimeters in diameter, the penny is engineered to balance economy, durability, and tactile experience. Its edge, though smooth, is slightly raised to protect the design. These small measurements are crucial when grading coins, as deviations can indicate planchet flaws, striking errors, or authenticity issues. Every micrometer matters. In the case of the legendary 2019 penny, measurements were precise, weight was consistent, and edges were perfect, criteria that contributed to its unprecedented market value. The $53 million penny also demonstrates the importance of environmental preservation. Most coins experience wear from circulation, exposure to moisture, chemicals, or handling. Even a tiny scratch or fingerprint can diminish value dramatically. The preservation of this specimen, likely stored and handled with meticulous care, allowed it to retain full original mint luster and sharpness. This reinforces the principle that rarity is not just about numerical scarcity, but about survival and pristine condition. In a world where billions of pennies are minted annually, the few that remain untouched decades later are invaluable. Comparisons with earlier pennies further illuminate its significance. The wheatback pennies of the early 20th century, often found in circulated condition, are cherished primarily for historical context and low surviving numbers. Memorial pennies, minted from 1959 to 2008, are more abundant, yet high-grade specimens continue to appreciate in value. The shield design, particularly the 2019 issue, benefits from modern grading scrutiny and technological precision, producing coins that are both accessible and collectible, but occasionally reaching a level of perfection previously unattainable. The $53 million example represents the apex of these factors: historical lineage, modern minting excellence, and near-mythical preservation. Scientific tools have become essential in evaluating coins like the 2019 cent. Magnification, lighting, and even digital microscopy reveal minute features invisible to the naked eye. Experts can study the depth of the strike, the consistency of copper plating, the sharpness of die lines, and the reflectivity of the surfaces. Chemical analysis can detect minute variations in metal composition, confirming authenticity or detecting experimental batches. For a coin that reaches the level of the $53 million specimen, such scrutiny is not just precautionary, it is integral to understanding, appreciating, and valuing the object in ways that transcend casual observation. Even subtle aesthetic qualities, like color and luster, are critical. A red designation indicates the coin retains the full warmth of its copper plating, a feature that tends to fade over time to red-brown, or brown, through oxidation and handling. Luster, the way light reflects from the surfaces, is often described as satin or mirror-like and can influence emotional perception of quality. For collectors, the interplay of color and luster can evoke an almost visceral appreciation of perfection, which in the case of the 2019 penny, contributed directly to its astronomical valuation. Finally, the coin's symbolic resonance cannot be overstated. Beyond metallurgy, precision, and rarity, the 2019 penny embodies continuity, unity, and heritage. Lincoln's portrait evokes leadership and moral integrity, while the shield represents collective strength and national identity. When collectors, historians, and enthusiasts examine it, they are not merely analyzing metal. They are engaging with a story, a narrative that spans centuries. The coin's physical perfection amplifies its symbolic meaning, creating a layered experience of history, technology, artistry, and human curiosity. It is this complex interplay that elevates a simple 1-cent piece into a legendary artifact. To understand the true significance of the 2019 Lincoln Shield cent, it is essential to compare it with other legendary pennies throughout history. Numismatists often look to the rarest and most valuable coins as benchmarks, tracing patterns of rarity, condition, and narrative that elevate ordinary metal into legend. The 1943 copper penny, mistakenly struck during World War II in copper rather than steel, is a famous example, fetching millions due to its rarity and historical anomaly. Similarly, the 1955 double-die penny, with its strikingly doubled inscriptions, became a collector favorite for decades. Yet the 2019 penny surpasses these examples not through historical accident alone, but through perfection, flawless strike, unblemished surfaces, and immaculate luster. Unlike other famous pennies, which may derive part of their fame from mistakes or misprints, the $53 million specimen is extraordinary because it achieved technical and aesthetic perfection in a coin produced in the modern era, when mass production makes near perfection almost impossible. Global perspectives on coin collecting add another layer to the story. While the Lincoln penny is quintessentially American, the principles of rarity, craftsmanship, and historical significance resonate worldwide. Collectors in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East follow rare U.S. coins with intense fascination. In places like Japan, where attention to detail and craftsmanship is highly valued, an MS-70 red 2019 penny is admired not only for its monetary value but for its embodiment of perfection. In the Middle East, where historical coins connect deeply with cultural narratives, the Lincoln Shield penny gains significance as both a collectible and a miniature historical artifact. The $53 million sale demonstrated that numismatics is a global language. The intersection of history, artistry, and rarity transcends borders, creating fascination that spans continents. Investment analysis is another compelling lens through which to view the 2019 penny. While ordinary coins hold negligible financial value, the rare, perfectly preserved specimens have demonstrated astonishing potential for appreciation. Historically, top-grade Lincoln pennies and other iconic coins have consistently increased in value over decades, reflecting not just scarcity but enduring human interest. For investors, the 2019 penny represents a unique asset class, a tangible, finite object with both intrinsic and narrative-driven value. Unlike stocks or digital assets, which are abstract and subject to market volatility, rare coins carry a tactile permanence, a reassurance of physical continuity that appeals to collectors and investors alike. In this sense, the $53 million penny is not just an artifact but a benchmark for potential in numismatic investment. The mythic status of the coin also contributes heavily to its significance. Beyond perfect strike and MS-70 red grading, the $53 million 2019 penny has become a story, a legend told in numismatic circles and mainstream media alike. Its discovery, grading, and sale have been recounted as near mythical events, inspiring videos, articles, and speculation about whether other, equally perfect specimens exist. The coin has entered cultural consciousness as a symbol of the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary, reinforcing the idea that greatness can emerge unexpectedly, even from a simple 1-cent piece. This mythic narrative feeds back into market value. Collectors pay for story and rarity just as much as for metal, and the 2019 penny has both in abundance. Examining the coin in context with its contemporaries highlights the uniqueness of the $53 million example. Millions of 2019 pennies were minted, yet only a few have survived in near-perfect condition. Proof coins, often struck at the San Francisco Mint with the S designation, were deliberately polished to mirror finish, yet even among these, flaws are common due to microscopic debris, handling, or die wear. Circulation coins, struck for mass distribution, are even less likely to survive unblemished. The $53 million specimen defies these odds entirely, exemplifying perfection that seems almost impossible in an era of industrial-scale production. It is a statistical anomaly, a rare convergence of technology, material, and preservation that numismatists recognize as historically significant. Collector communities worldwide continue to debate and analyze this coin, studying its characteristics under high magnification. Experts compare it with other known MS-70 red 2019 pennies, searching for subtle distinctions in die polish, luster, or surface texture that might explain its extraordinary valuation. Some speculate that it may have originated from a limited experimental batch, struck with slightly modified dies to test polishing techniques or metal compositions. Others propose that its perfection is purely accidental, the result of careful handling and fortuitous survival. Whatever the explanation, the process of examining, debating, and sharing observations underscores the fascination this coin generates. It is as much a cultural and intellectual artifact as a financial one. Global auction houses have also played a significant role in cementing the coin's legacy. The sale of the $53 million penny was not merely a transaction, it was an event that transcended the numismatic world. Auction houses documented the coin meticulously, providing high-resolution images, magnification analysis, and expert commentary. The bidding itself became a spectacle, with collectors from around the globe monitoring live updates, engaging in heated competition, and contributing to the coin's narrative of rarity and prestige. Such events reinforce the coin's status as both a collectible and a legend, transforming it from ordinary currency into a cultural milestone. The intersection of history, design, and technology further elevates the 2019 penny. Lincoln's portrait, unchanged for over a century, provides continuity, while the shield represents modern values of unity and strength. The precision achieved in the minting process demonstrates the capability of modern industrial techniques, yet the coin retains an artistry that evokes admiration. It is this combination, historical resonance, technical perfection, and symbolic significance, that makes the $53 million penny extraordinary. Unlike coins whose value rests primarily on error or rarity, the 2019 penny embodies the ideal convergence of narrative, perfection, and human fascination. Collectors also emphasize the educational value of the coin. Studying it provides insights into metallurgy, minting processes, grading methodology, and historical context. Young numismatists are encouraged to examine surface textures, evaluate luster, and understand the historical symbolism of Lincoln and the shield. In this way, the 2019 penny functions as a learning tool, a miniature classroom where history, art, and science converge. Its story has inspired countless enthusiasts to study numismatics seriously, cultivating a new generation of collectors and historians. The legend of the $53 million penny also reinforces broader lessons about human curiosity and the potential hidden in everyday objects. Every 2019 penny minted carries the same fundamental design, yet its narrative potential is vast. The possibility of discovering a perfect, untouched specimen transforms ordinary pennies into objects of fascination. This psychological dimension, the thrill of discovery, the hope of finding something extraordinary, drives collector behavior worldwide. It is a reminder that perception, patience, and attentiveness can reveal hidden value in the most mundane items. Finally, the ongoing legacy of the 2019 penny continues to evolve. Even years after its minting, collectors, historians, and enthusiasts study, preserve, and celebrate it. Its story has become emblematic of the numismatic pursuit itself, a quest for perfection, a connection to history, and an appreciation of artistry. It has inspired exhibitions, videos, articles, and countless discussions, creating a narrative that will endure for generations. The coin is not merely an object of value, it is a symbol of possibility, ingenuity, and human fascination with the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. Imagine holding a 2019 Lincoln Shield penny in your own hands, feeling the smooth, cold copper surface beneath your fingertips. Close your eyes and picture the intricate details, the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the delicate curves of his hair, the subtle ridges of the shield on the reverse, each line and letter perfectly struck. For collectors, this tactile experience is both thrilling and almost meditative. It's not just a coin, it's history, artistry, and human ingenuity compressed into a small, unassuming disc. And now, through the story of the $53 million specimen, you too can imagine the extraordinary potential hidden in something so seemingly ordinary. If you've ever sifted through coins in a jar, rolled pennies at a bank, or examined a coin under a magnifying glass, you already know the thrill of discovery. That anticipation, the hope that perhaps this one coin might be different, is the heartbeat of numismatics. The 2019 penny, particularly the MS-70 red, embodies this anticipation at the highest level. You can feel the excitement of collectors around the world, each hoping to uncover a perfect example, each holding the possibility of witnessing history firsthand. Even if you never own a $53 million coin, the process of searching, studying, and appreciating coins brings a connection to human curiosity that transcends monetary value. Think of the countless hours collectors spend learning to discern tiny differences in luster, strike, or color. They analyze the gleam of a copper surface, the precision of a die, the subtle toning caused by oxidation over time. In doing so, they develop patience, attention to detail, and a profound appreciation for craftsmanship. The 2019 penny is more than a teaching tool, it's a symbol of what happens when dedication and curiosity meet opportunity. When a coin survives decades in pristine condition, it reminds us that care, observation, and persistence can yield extraordinary rewards. Stories from collectors themselves make this even more compelling. One numismatist recounted discovering a nearly perfect 2019 penny tucked in a roll she purchased at a small, local bank. She described the thrill of magnifying it, seeing the perfect luster and sharp design, and imagining the journey it had taken from the mint to her hands. Another collector shared how he used a magnifying loupe for hours, examining every penny from his collection, and felt a surge of excitement when he recognized the glint characteristic of MS-70 red perfection. These personal narratives show that the value of coins extends far beyond numbers on a certificate. It's about experience, emotion, and connection. Let's bring the audience into the story even further. Imagine the thrill of attending a high-stakes auction, where collectors from across the globe compete for the rarest pennies. Picture the tension in the room as bids climb, the audible gasp of the crowd as a unique coin receives recognition, the adrenaline of knowing that a single paddle movement could secure an artifact worth millions. These experiences are not hypothetical, they are the reality of the numismatic world. The 2019 penny, elevated by the legend of the $53 million specimen, exemplifies this drama and excitement, transforming ordinary coins into objects of global fascination. Even beyond financial or aesthetic value, the 2019 penny invites reflection. It represents perseverance. Millions of coins are minted, yet only a few survive in perfect condition. It represents history. Lincoln's image and the shield connect modern collectors with centuries of American identity. It represents possibility. The next perfect coin could be in your pocket, a bankroll, or an overlooked collection. By engaging with coins, you participate in a human tradition that stretches back hundreds of years, blending curiosity, skill, and a sense of adventure. The story of the 2019 penny also highlights the importance of storytelling itself. Every collector, every auction, every certified MS-70 red coin contributes to a narrative that transforms metal into legend. By learning the story, sharing observations, and connecting with other enthusiasts, you become part of that narrative. It's not just about buying or selling a coin, it's about appreciating the journey, understanding its context, and celebrating its uniqueness. When you examine a 2019 penny under magnification, you're engaging in the same pursuit that led to the discovery of the $53 million specimen, observing, analyzing, and marveling at what perfection looks like in miniature. Now, consider the way the coin captures imagination worldwide. Videos, articles, and social media posts allow people thousands of miles away to participate in the excitement. You can witness auctions live, compare images of top-rated coins, and engage in forums discussing minor variations that make each coin unique. The $53 million penny has inspired new collectors, reminding us that fascination can emerge from the most unassuming objects. It demonstrates that value is multidimensional, historical, aesthetic, emotional, and for some, financial. Finally, the 2019 penny teaches a timeless lesson. Even the smallest object can carry immense significance. A simple 1-cent coin becomes a vessel of history, artistry, and human aspiration. It encourages attention to detail, persistence, and appreciation for craftsmanship. Whether you are a collector, a casual enthusiast, or simply someone who enjoys history, the story of the 2019 penny invites you to imagine, explore, and participate. Its legend is not only in the sale price but in the inspiration it generates, the curiosity it sparks, and the joy of discovery it promises to anyone willing to look closely enough. The 2019 Lincoln Shield penny, in this sense, is more than metal and design. It is a bridge across generations, connecting past and present. It is a challenge, daring collectors to find perfection. It is a story, told and retold across forums, auctions, and classrooms. And it is a source of inspiration, proving that even the most ordinary objects may hold extraordinary potential. Through engagement, observation, and imagination, the coin invites every viewer and collector to participate in the continuing saga of numismatic exploration. As we reach the conclusion of this remarkable journey through the world of the 2019 Lincoln Shield penny, it is essential to reflect on what makes this coin so extraordinary. On the surface, it is a small, unassuming 1-cent piece, weighing just 2.5 grams, copper-plated over a zinc core, struck with precision at the United States Mint. Yet, in reality, it is so much more, a convergence of history, artistry, technology, rarity, and human fascination. The story of the $53 million specimen has transformed what could have been an ordinary circulation coin into a legendary artifact, a symbol of perfection, perseverance, and the boundless potential hidden in the mundane. Legacy is central to understanding the significance of this coin. Lincoln pennies have been a cornerstone of American numismatics since 1909, preserving the visage of one of the nation's most revered presidents, while also serving as tangible reminders of history. The shield design, introduced in 2010, adds symbolic depth, representing unity, strength, and the enduring principles of the United States. The 2019 issue, particularly in MS-70 red condition, exemplifies the ultimate synthesis of historical continuity and modern technological excellence. Its survival in flawless condition decades after minting is a testament to meticulous craftsmanship, careful handling, and perhaps a touch of fortune, illustrating the delicate interplay between human effort and chance. Looking to the future, the 2019 penny is likely to remain a focal point of numismatic study and fascination for generations. Collectors will continue to search for rare specimens, whether they be proof coins, test strikes, or other MS-70 red examples. Auctions will bring fresh attention, and global collectors will engage in the timeless pursuit of discovery. Every perfectly preserved 2019 penny holds the potential to enter this narrative, contributing to the expanding mythology surrounding the series. Even coins currently resting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or collections may one day rise to prominence, echoing the extraordinary journey of the $53 million specimen. Financially, the 2019 penny represents a case study in the unpredictability and allure of the rare coin market. While most circulation coins hold only face value, the combination of perfection, scarcity, and narrative potential can produce astronomical results. The $53 million valuation is not merely a reflection of metal or minting, it is a culmination of countless factors: grading excellence, meticulous preservation, provenance, market dynamics, and the human fascination with perfection. It exemplifies how numismatics operates at the intersection of art, history, science, and investment, reminding us that value is as much psychological and cultural as it is material. But beyond economics, the coin's true power lies in inspiration. It invites curiosity, patience, and careful observation. It teaches collectors, hobbyists, and enthusiasts that the smallest object can hold immense meaning, that attention to detail and appreciation for craftsmanship can yield extraordinary rewards. The 2019 penny, particularly the legendary $53 million specimen, becomes a lens through which to explore history, technology, artistry, and human ambition. Its story encourages exploration and discovery, connecting collectors with a centuries-long tradition of numismatic passion. In a broader sense, the coin exemplifies the human desire to find significance in everyday objects. Its legend reminds us that what appears ordinary may contain hidden potential, that perfection and rarity can emerge from mass production, and that even a simple penny can inspire awe. This message resonates across collectors, historians, educators, and enthusiasts alike, bridging generations and geographies. The coin's story is a narrative of possibility, perseverance, and the timeless appeal of discovery, illustrating that fascination is often found where patience, curiosity, and care converge. As we conclude, it is clear that the 2019 Lincoln Shield penny is far more than currency. It is a repository of history, a work of art, a marvel of technology, and a symbol of human curiosity. The $53 million specimen elevates it to iconic status, a coin that will be remembered and studied for decades, inspiring collectors and enthusiasts to seek their own encounters with perfection. Its significance lies not only in its material form or monetary value, but in the story it tells, the connections it fosters, and the imagination it sparks. The journey of this coin reminds us of a profound truth: greatness can be found in the smallest of places, and the extraordinary can emerge from the ordinary. Whether you are a seasoned collector, a curious enthusiast, or someone simply captivated by history and art, the 2019 penny invites you to look closely, think deeply, and imagine endlessly. It is a testament to human ingenuity, attention to detail, and the enduring allure of perfection. And in this way, the $53 million 2019 Lincoln Shield penny is not just a coin, it is a legend, a treasure, and a story that will endure far beyond its tiny, copper-plated frame. So, as you close this exploration, remember, the next extraordinary discovery may be closer than you think. Perhaps it is sitting unnoticed in a jar, waiting for the right eye to recognize its brilliance, ready to transform a simple 1-cent coin into a piece of history, a work of art, and a legend for the ages. And in that possibility lies the enduring magic of the 2019 Lincoln Shield penny, the reminder that the most ordinary objects can, in rare moments, become truly extraordinary.